Okay, hey everybody, welcome to another episode of On the Wrist Off the Cuff. Today we have another cool strap review for you guys from Hirsch. This isn't the first time I've featured this strap on my channel. They make tons of awesome straps. A little bit about them. They're basically a family-run business, and I think what really sets them apart in a nutshell is that they're actually able to produce very high-quality products at scale. Really it's the breadth of their line and the reach of their line that really sets them apart. They have so many different model lines and they're actually stocked in volume by tons of different dealers. I actually got these from Watch Obsession, which is a UK-based dealer that has an extremely close relationship with Hirsch straps, even to the point where they actually manage HirschStraps.com, which is basically a dedicated site apart from their main storefront that is just streamlined towards Hirsch products. And that's how many different products Hirsch actually has, that a dealer can actually go out and have a dedicated separate site for them, because they just everything from rubber to leather, all types of different buckles and deployants, and there's just tons of different variations, textures, and different models. So I'm going to be reviewing those today, and kind of being the models here, we have actually two watches from Raven. One is the Solitude, which was recently reviewed probably a couple months ago now. And then we also have the Raven Trekker. This is the original Trekker that is 40 millimeters, but it's actually being reduced and refined down to a 39 millimeter, and they're actually adding a lot of cool options. So I guess I'll jump on the hype train now and say that I'm excited for the updated generation that's coming out. So definitely keep an eye on my channel, and definitely look through if you guys are interested in the reviews on those, or finding out information on newer releases from Raven. So with all that said, let's go ahead and take a closer look. Okay guys, so as you can see here, basically these are new releases in Hirsch's popular performance line. Now, one thing that sets their performance line apart is that they actually use a two-layer system. Typically, as you can see here, underneath is one layer, which they have these great ventilated perforations, and then on the other side they'll use various uppers. So whether it's leather or some type of synthetic or rubber, with different textures in it. Basically, those are all kind of part of their performance line because of the two-piece construction and general kind of water-friendly nature of the designs, which is really nice. Let's go ahead and actually get an up-close look here too, and as you can see that they also are both packing these nice quick release spring bars, which are super helpful. And in these particular watch models, they actually have drilled lugs, so these are actually kind of strap monsters on their own. But it's nice to have a versatile strap with some quick change, capabilities. You don't have to use any tools or anything like that. They kind of snap right in and right out, which is great. So the nice thing about these, this is the Hirsch John. Basically, they have these multicolor camo patterns on the top layer, which is really great. And you can see up close that these are really, really nicely done, guys. Look at that. It's just super finely done. There's not like a bunch of seams or anything. It's really just kind of two pieces versus feeling like 4, 5, 6 pieces for each different colorized rubber pattern. They're very nice, and of course these two options, they both come in either 20 or 22 millimeters. These are the 20 millimeter shown, and they actually also have different buckle options. They're both here shown in the brushed steel option, but they also do have black coat and gold coat, as well as being compatible with actual deployment, different deployant buckles, sorry. Whether it's from Hirsch or if you have something else aftermarket, those will work as well. I kind of prefer for this type of strap these types of buckles, although certain deployants actually do work really nicely for sporty reasons. So it's kind of really a matter of preference. I like the simplicity here. Plus, they kind of get to lay flat, which is nice for presentation purposes and storage, which I really like a lot. I'm loving both of these patterns. I like that there's the green camo and the blue camo. Of course, me having been in the Marine Corps for so long, I'm big on the air, land, and sea kind of vibe, and I think it's really nice to have some straps that are super capable. And then when you think of course, like a field watch, or a diver, some kind of that basic black and silver kind of layout. It works really nicely with the green camo, the classic, and then for something like this, you have a blue dial. It's a diver's watch, but it's also a traveler's watch, which makes it kind of air oriented as well. So like a pilot could use it, and then basically instead of using a 60-minute timing bezel, you have a secondary time zone bezel, so you can say, okay, well now, hey, here's ahead of time. If I was in the East Coast, 3 hours ahead from the West Coast, now I have basically the timing set up to use that 12-hour bezel. So that's really cool, and kind of even ties in with of course, this being water resistant, as well as something that could be kind of a traveler or flight type watch with its legibility. So I think that's a really nice touch from that standpoint. These lengths are really great. They're actually 80 millimeters and 120, which is a great length. I have a 7¼ inch wrist. You'll see how these wear. Actually, you'll see right now. Let me go ahead and put this one on the wrist. As you can see, I can make it probably a little bit tighter. Let me go one more. Nah, let's do this. Let's keep it a little bit looser so that I can kind of put it on the wrist where you guys kind of will want it. I tend to actually wear my straps, let's say like right here instead, a little bit further down the wrist, I should say, past the wrist bone. But I know that's not really how everyone wears their watches. Some people like to actually wear them further up, so you have a little bit of room for play here. Of course, these aren't super broken in yet or anything like that, but basically there's a curvature here. The nice thing is that these actually do taper. As you can see, when you look at here from this angle, it's thicker here, right? More bolstered to keep the watch in place, and then it's nice and thin here, which is where it's going to be extremely pliable, which is great as well. So I'll go ahead and put this on the other wrist. This is of course extremely awkward to do with my arms wrapped around the tripod, but I shall try for the sake of simplicity and saving some cutting away and whatnot for editing later on. Let's make it a little bit tighter here. There we go. So as you can see on my 7¼ inch wrist, these wear really well. Really loving the look. I mean, obviously there's different camouflage pattern straps you can get, but as far as like the capability, so that's the nice thing. I feel like it has the show and it has the go, right? Like these are going to be super durable. You can sweat on them, you can get them wet, you can do pretty much whatever, and they're still going to work. So it has not just the utility look, but the actual utility specs to back it up, which I think is really cool. And kind of, I'm all about theme execution, so when you have something where the theme is for it to be very utilitarian and performance oriented, even with of course a military style, it's really nice to actually have the capabilities as well to be something that I can take into the water, that I can take out, and it's going to be good to go, because it's, as you can see, of course, it's a rubber strap, a natural rubber strap. Feels really great, nice and pliable and comfortable, and actually looks absolutely fantastic as well. So it's really hard sometimes to kind of get that balance right when it comes to a watch strap, when it comes to kind of the design aspect of it. You don't want it to overpower your timepiece. You want it to complement it really nicely, and I think these straps do a really great job of that. You can actually get these for $87 direct from Watch Obsession. And I gotta say, I think they're worth every penny, especially when you consider, you know, that's kind of the norm when it comes to Hirsch straps, at least their rubber ones, and then especially when you get to their performance line with the kind of the dual layer. I think these things look great. Obviously, you can see the black and steel with a dive watch looks absolutely perfect. Then you got anything with a blue dial steel bezel will also look fantastic in here, kind of from that aviation standpoint, or even just from, you know, some wet work standpoint, and something that's going to be even dedicated to the kind of hydro, the water sports side. These can be a lot of fun. So I'd say closing thoughts. Actually, let me pop these off so we can get a little bit more motion into here too. You know, these wear really excellent, and the construction is exactly what we've come to expect from, you know, the brand Hirsch. These things are absolutely magnificently constructed, and there's some straps I feel like are kind of expensive just for the sake of being expensive. These ones, there's like actual design and technology and difficulty and complexity. I mean, even when you look at these keepers, guys, look at how gorgeous these keepers are. Multicam, multicolor, really beautiful. And the thing that's about the blue, right, is it has so many different shades of blue. So yeah, this is a lighter blue dial, but it also can match with a medium darker blue dial or a really extreme navy. So that's the really nice thing. And then of course it's rubber, so I mean, yeah, you might get a little dust or something on it. They're not sticky like silicone by any means, but they can get kind of ashy or whatnot, and you can kind of just rub it off with your thumb, which I think is outstanding. I love the versatility here. I think these look great. Obviously, it's kind of an old school look, but really modern build, which I feel like is a big theme within watches these days. Those vintage looks with modern build quality. So again, it's something that really complements today's styles in watches, and kind of especially sports watches. I think these are perfect for sports watch. I wouldn't put this on a dress watch or anything like that. But yeah, I think these look absolutely excellent. I really love that kind of great air, land, and sea ready vibe. The performance is there, and it has the aesthetic, and then of course, you know, the capabilities to back it up. You know, really, these are pretty much a perfect match for pretty much any type of sports watch that you have out there that of course doesn't have proprietary lugs. And then with the 20 millimeter option as well as 22, you're pretty much covered. These do have a nice little taper to them. You know, they don't overly taper, but basically it goes down to 20 to 18, which keeps it very comfortable and also looking quite stylish and refined. So with that said, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked the video, please do hit like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks, guys.